which retails for more than $91, but you are also getting this fabulous body powder, which we're going to be opening up a little bit later on in the show. And I don't know about you, but the packaging is absolutely stunning. The body powder is absolutely impossible to find. I get the impression from the old Google that you got to know somebody that knows somebody to get it. And once you've found it, both of these pieces, much like everything that you're going to see in the show tonight, is hardly ever on sale. It is all full price and fabulous, but then when you expect the best of the best, why wouldn't it be? So tonight you take a value that would be more than $163, and for the first time ever, get it at a steal price that is for 24 hours only, or while our supplies last, for $60 less. That's right. We've got even 5 easy payments tonight, which is wonderful. Again, 2 key pieces that a lot of people know the Guerlain Fragrance House for, and yet you get to see it for the first time ever at an amazing steal. It's almost like it's the holiday all over again, but now to kind of celebrate in fragrance, we're going to kick off with our first tutorial tonight, and it is called Classic and Timeless Layering. Joining us tonight are 2 very fabulous women that I got to tell you, both are bringing a real strong hair game tonight. If I didn't know any better.
We worked hard on this.
Yeah, respect is all I can say. So this is Ginger Mazikian, and then this is Sarah Atera. They both come to us from Guerlain, and it's so great to see you guys tonight because I can't think starting the new year with a new fragrance that is as special as this. I mean, it took us 400 years really to arrive to tonight.
Yeah, this is just so special, this fragrance, and to be here with Sarah, my colleague. We're tag teaming tonight, so this is going to be really fun. But this value, like you said, Courtney, to own this iconic fragrance that is timeless. So if you know it, you know it's been around for a while, but if you experience it, you know it's so modern, so sensual, so feminine, and yeah, it feels like Christmas all over again. This value is just amazing with, of course, your beautiful powder. So, you know, Sarah, this is one of your favorites, isn't it?
I love it because Shalimar is such a romantic story.
Yes.
It's a story of desire. Centuries ago, an emperor fell madly in love with this princess, and he built these exotic gardens for her, and he named them Shalimar, which means temple of love in the ancient language Sanskrit. And he also built the Taj Mahal for her. So who wouldn't want to have the Taj Mahal, you know, built for you? And they used to rendezvous in these gardens, and the bottle reflects that. The bottle is symbolic of the beautiful story. So the cap is the night sky and the cascading fountains under which they used to rendezvous. And the body of the bottle, this is her shoulders and the drape of her dress.
So what's more romantic than that, right?
Yes.
So the notes on this are also really beautiful. Again, it's the first Oriental ever created. So it was out of the box when Jacques Guerlain created it back in 1925. And he was considered to be the greatest nose of the 20th century. So he was sitting there with this beautiful scent of bergamot. So you get a touch of freshness when you first apply it. It dries to a beautiful rose, which I call the queen, you know, that classic rose. Then jasmine, which is a little more playful, and iris, which is what gives it that powdery warmth. And finally, the beautiful and rich tonka bean and vanilla. So it is just an exotic scent, but Jacques Guerlain needed to be inspired because at the House of Guerlain, we're inspired by love stories, right, Sarah? By love stories and women. And so when he heard this story of the Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal that occurred 400 years ago, he said, you know what, that is this fragrance. That is this beautiful Shalimar fragrance, because not only does it mean eternal love, but you will fall in love with this fragrance. And if you've never tried it, this is a perfect time to try it because it's just, you know, the offering here is just amazing. And of course, with the duo of the powder, so let me reach over here because I'm having a hard time opening my powder. This powder, and of course layering, is the best way to really have your fragrance last all day. Although the Eau de Parfum is pretty rich, so you wouldn't have to respray, but who wouldn't love after bath? And French women are known for really making the bath a ritual. This beautiful powder is fine milled, has a silky touch to it. So after the bath, your whole bathroom is scented. It has that beautiful scent of bergamot and rose, and this is just a beautiful touch with the scent. So
I've been doing this since
look
we went
at you
live
over
6
there.
minutes
Yes.
ago. I was like, this is the kind
immersing.
of decadence
Yeah.
where you're like, I live here. This is on my vanity. Yes, please. And if you're just joining us, we are kicking off this amazing night with our steal that is from the House of Guerlain, an incredible fragrance company that's got more than 190 years of giving us some of the most decadent and sought after fragrances. This being one that is one of the most iconic of all times. Tonight you get to bring home Shalimar in 3 ounces, plus you get the 4.4 ounce body powder with the puff, which is so incredibly hard to find. And even more hard to find than the powder itself is just a sale when it comes to Guerlain. But that's the thing, that when you think about the fashion houses of the couture, the master perfumers that have spent the last 190 years making this absolute decadence, really come to be known for. And tonight you get $163 value for $103. We've got 5 easy payments as well. If you're shopping with us for the first time, what a great way to start the year, because we're going to show you how to layer your fragrance, but layer in a love story that is all about the most decadent, high-end, fabulous notes you could ever imagine. And with this being the first Oriental collection of fragrance that you guys ever created, I love the description of what that is, because I think about when I go home tonight, totally unsexy, taking the 202 down to the 76. There's about a foot of slosh on each side of the road. I'm gonna get out, the cold weather's gonna hit me like just a brunt, and I'm gonna be like, ugh. But when I go inside and I experience Shalimar, it is like you get to turn the world away and feel like you are the princess that you deserve to be.
Absolutely.
Oh.
This is the fragrance. This is when you want to feel sexy, when you want to feel seductive. It's forbidden. This is the time when Guerlain, he reaches into the Orient, which at a time it was very unknown, uncharted region. And he brought back spices and he brought back scents and flowers and created, as Ginger said, the first Oriental ever made. So it's very mysterious, very seductive, and very forbidden.
You know, especially this time of year, like you said, Courtney, it's cold out, you know, it's raw, you come home and this fragrance envelops you. It's like that cashmere sweater. It's just really comforting, as well as makes you feel very sensual and warm. And so it's a perfect time for this fragrance. It's for all time, but especially right now, to really feel that you know, enveloping scent around you.
So when we're at home and we get this collection home in just a few days, obviously when you get out of your shower or your nice, amazing bubble bath, do you take the powder puff first and then spritz with your perfume, or what's the correct way to have the full Guerlain
You know, you can do it either way. Out of the shower, it really works well when your skin is slightly damp, because it actually seals the moisture in. So adding that puff right out of the shower, and then maybe your spritz just before you go out the door. Sometimes maybe just the dusting powder is all you need for that moment, depending on what you're doing. So, you know, if you're having more of a kind of a casual day and maybe you're just running errands and you just want to have a little bit of that veil of the Shalimar on you, this is perfect for that right out of the shower. Maybe at night you're going to meet friends for drinks, and then you add your scent, and it really is going to awaken the powder all over again. Either way, you have the options here that it's going to be beautiful on you, whether it's slightly more subtle or you're going to get that full richness of
Now, I
using them
have
together.
heard of this idea, and I'm just going to call it perfume mapping, the way that it was designed to be applied. So is this one that you spritz and walk through, or is this one at carefully curated points on your body, like the wrist, the neck?
You know, I feel like it depends on my mood. There's times when I want to take a touch of it and put it behind my knees, and take a touch of it. I actually spray it on my fingers and just kind of massage it, you know, on my neck, or put a touch of it at my décolleté. There's times when, like I said before, if I'm running out the door and I just want to mist, I'll spray it in the air and walk through it, or just spray a little bit in my hair so I have more of a subtle. So, I mean, fragrance is very much like a wardrobe. How do I apply it? Sometimes you wear a scarf a different way, or you might wear your blouse off the shoulder as opposed to, you know, covering up the shoulder. So it's really an accessory.
Well.
Yes, look at you. Yes.
Let me just
We're all
get on
shoulders
in
tonight.
there, if I may. Aaron Graves, you better watch out.
I love it. I love it.
All right, now, Sarah, how would you describe the woman that wears this fragrance that's the modern woman? Because my first encounter tonight with this fragrance is I feel very empowered. This is one that I, in retrospect, kind of talking with you guys and then experiencing now, feel like I could take on anything.
Yes. Shalimar is a very daring fragrance. So it was made during the 20s. So think about the 20s in Paris. Think of the flappers and the music and the dancing and the energy. And it was a very creative time. So the women back then who wore Shalimar were very daring. And the women today who wear Shalimar are also very daring. So it's got that, you know, little mystery, that little kick to it. So it's gonna give you that spice. It's gonna wake you up, give you a little bit of shimmy to your life. And that's, you know, that's what makes it so magical and so much fun to wear.
Well, you know, I'm so glad we're kind of talking about the history of this incredible House of Guerlain fragrance, because Claire, who's in the chat tonight, said she's been wearing Shalimar since she was 16. She said that was almost 48 years ago. And in a world where there are more choices than ever, there's not a lot of loyalty to any brand because you can switch, you can change it up. We're actually going to show this incredible ad that we used to be like kind of talking about, like inspiring the 1920s, yes?
Yeah, yeah. So this
love
is, look at that. I mean, she's just gorgeous. She's a modern woman, but it's a throwback to that really sensual and sexy, you know, explosion of the 20s. So it's really, really relevant again. You know, women that are empowered, women that are daring and beautiful, but yet can be, you know, you can be subtle and soft too, because it has that quality as well.
And you know, getting the powder, the body powder along with this, I feel super in love with this already, because this kind of just forces you to take a moment for yourself. Like, this is something you don't see enough in today's world, and I'm kind of glad, because it's meant to be special. It's meant to kind of be this rare experience. And I just imagine this like amazing vanity boudoir kind of thing where you're just like, darling, fetch me another glass of champs, would you? You know, and I think it's okay to feel that way.
You're drinking your champagne while you're just patting your body, pampering yourself, really. And it's very French. That's what women do. The bath is a ritual, very European, very French. So why not, you know, take that time, pour your glass of champagne. Oh, look at me, I'm getting it all over. I'm just bathing in it right here in front of you all.
Do you know what? Here's the thing. I'm glad I wore off the shoulder tonight, but I'll tell you, I literally, the first place I went with it was my arm.
Yeah,
I was like, I actually have sleeves on tonight. Like, why did I do that?
I thought my shoulders were enough, but I'm like ready to just dive in.
But that's how you'll do it when you get at home. You know, you'll get out of the shower.
True.
So you'll have to forgive us. But
We're having too much fun.
Exactly. I know. This is one of the nights where I wish we could go over to our sister channel and be like, do y'all have any vintage wine estates that we can have?
Next time we'll have to pop a bottle of champagne of Dom Perignon. How about that?
Only thing that makes sense.
Right.
Well, tonight I will invite you, especially if you have never shopped with us before, you're just discovering us, whether you found us on television or, of course, on YouTube, on Facebook. This incredible House of Guerlain is a fragrance house with more than 190 years of absolutely decadence. We're talking about 5 generations of master perfumers. We're talking about perfumes that have not only withstood lifetimes, but have withstood the test of time. And I say that in a marketplace where you can walk into any prestige beauty store and see a wall full of perfume that has no story, that has no love, that has no special quality to it. And yet tonight you have the opportunity to take part in history, whether you have worn Shalimar all along or you've fallen in love with the intoxicating fragrance notes that we've been able to describe for you tonight, or the attitude adjustment that is sure to happen when you bring it home. Tonight is all about you, and tonight is that time where you go to beautyiq.com. It is so easy. You will see Guerlain Shalimar right on the front. You can't miss it. It's in big letters. You click on that banner, and what you're bringing home tonight is truly a rare find put together that we are so thrilled to only have here at Beauty IQ. You'll be getting 3 ounces of the Guerlain Shalimar, which means eternal love. It's based off that 400-year-old love story that still stands the test of time, of the woman that's the empress, who's also empowered, but she is sweet and delicate as well. You'll also be getting 4.4 ounces of the amazing body powder, which I'm telling you, go to Google. It is next to impossible to exist. I get the feeling it's this like underground Wander Beauty that you're like, Oh, finally. But then you see it's always full price. Tonight, we're giving you both pieces, which should be $160. You get to bring it home for $103. We've got great easy pay, which means when you order with a credit card, there's no interest. You just divide it up over 5 months. And to basically get something that is the equivalent to